All right, let's talk about a few just kind of common issues that we're seeing today with clients filing applications.
Yeah, and some of these, are something that we've dealt with as attorneys for a long time. As I remember back when I first started, we used to, double, triple check every box for FedEx before it went out. We had senior attorneys constantly looking at signatures, constantly looking at addresses to make sure that everything was going to the right place with all the signatures that it needed and things like that. And still, even with all that, sometimes USCIS will then on the back end make a mistake and improperly reject the filing. Or maybe they'll accept it, but they won't give all the administrative things that they're supposed to, like things like receipt numbers aren't issued, or they just incorrectly reject an application. So there's a lot of a lot of ways that things can go wrong here, and this is going to kind of come back to what we were talking about with having an attorney that knows how to solve these issues, right? So we've seen everything from documents just not making it to USCIS, right? FedEx has mess ups, or UPS or USPS, whoever your attorney is using. We've had that happen before, and we've had it happen in very critical situations where an RFE was due, and so having an attorney that's dealt with that before knows how to put together a very quick response and which avenues to go through, supervisor review at USCIS to make sure that that gets corrected immediately, right? It's no fault of the attorney or the applicants at that point, but having proof essentially. Some attorneys don't even keep proof that they filed a case. They don't keep the FedEx receipt. That kind of stuff becomes really important when FedEx doesn't actually deliver the case like they're supposed to. Having an adjustment of status improperly denied. Again, we talked about the visa bulletin issues. Any number of reasons that USCIS can just completely mess up in the mailroom and improperly reject the case. Maybe two checks were stapled too close together, and they didn't see the second check and rejected it because of that. Just all those things, having records of that. Good attorneys will have records of everything that they filed, and showing that proof to USCIS is really what makes a big difference. And getting some of these mistakes corrected. We see it very often that they fail to issue a receipt number, or as we're seeing on the right side here, that the receipt number just isn't being tracked online. Again, having an advocate on your behalf that basically knows that there's an online account that you can get registered into, and you can reach out to USCIS and ultimately get this corrected is really important, right? I hear a lot of attorneys just say like, oh, like that just happens, we're just going to let it be. Well, you could do that, or you could say that sometimes it's going to work if we reach out to USCIS to fix this, sometimes it won't, but we're at least going to try. And I've found that the attorneys that are constantly trying and advocating on their client's behalf are the ones that are seeing better results. And then I think finally the most annoying mistake is the incorrect request for evidence. And we've all seen those RFEs where you submit all the documentation and then you get a boilerplate response back asking for those very same documents. That happens all the time. That's not something that's new. It's not something that's unique to EB5. USCIS doesn't always have its act together. And, we've seen administrative mistakes like that happen across the board for years. And again, having an attorney that doesn't panic, throw caution to the wind, withdraw your case, that's really, really important. Having an attorney that has experience tell USCIS that they're incorrect, that they are asking for documents that have already been received by them is just really important. And when you're casting that response, you want that attorney to push back. And I think that's okay in a lot of instances with USCIS. And only an experienced attorney will feel comfortable doing that. An inexperienced attorney will likely, like I said, freak out, think about withdrawing, tell them, oh, I don't know what's going on, something along those lines. So it's really, really important to have an experienced attorney here.